In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 1st, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. LIU Sharks vs. Toledo Rockets. The Toledo Rockets and LIU Sharks square off Thursday in Week 1 college football action from the Glass Bowl. LIU is coming off a rough season, finishing 2-8 overall with a 2-5 mark in NEC play. As for Toledo, they went 7-6 overall, but ultimately fell in the Bahamas Bowl. LIU couldn't find much success last year, going 2-8 overall and 2-5 in the NEC. The Sharks would finish just 1 spot out of the basement in the conference standings with that record, ahead of only Wagner at 0-7. LIU started out with some tricky matchups and stumbled to an 0-5 record. In that quintet, the Sharks scored just 32 points total. The good news is that LIU managed wins over Central Connecticut and Wagner before finishing off the year with 3 more losses. Over on the Toledo side, they were able to find a bit of success in 2021. The Rockets went 7-6 overall and 5-3 in MSC play. That result put Toledo in 3rd place in the West Division. The Rockets' season ended on a sour note with a loss in the Bahamas Bowl. However, Toledo started their season out at a shaky 4-3, but got better as the year wore on. The Rockets finished with a 4-1 record across their last 5 regular season games. In the Bahamas Bowl, Toledo eventually lost 31-24 to Middle Tennessee in a tough result. The Rockets were a frustrating team in 2021, losing 5 games by a touchdown or less. The Toledo offense does lose a handful of key playmakers this season, but hopes are high with Dequan Finn under center. 2 starters are gone from the offensive line, but the Rockets should have a good group to block for Jacquez Stewart and Micah Kelly. That duo combined to average 5.4 yards per carry and 564 yards. All things considered, LIU shouldn't be much of a problem for Toledo on paper at least. So the Toledo Rockets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical Bulldogs vs. UAB Blazers. The UAB Blazers and Alabama Bulldogs square off Thursday in Week 1 of college football action at Protective Stadium in Birmingham. The Alabama Bulldogs look for an upset victory after finishing 7-3 last year. The UAB Blazers enter their last year in the CUSA and will be coached by Bryant Vincent. The Alabama Bulldogs averaged 38 points and 477.1 yards per game last season. Alabama allowed an average of 35.1 points and 425.8 yards per game last season. Akil Glass returns at quarterback after throwing for 3,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Abdul Fattah Ibrahim and D. Anderson are a returning receiving duo that combined 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, while Gary Quarles led the Bulldogs with 900 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. Defensively, Armoni Holloway returns after leading Alabama with 43 tackles. Philip Hopkins had 2.5 sacks and Trenell Troutman had 3 interceptions. The Alabama Bulldogs return a ton of key players from a year ago, and that's great news for a team that won 7 games and ended the year on a 4-game winning streak. Alabama has a chance to be an offensive powerhouse yet again. The UAB Blazers averaged 29 points and 386.5 yards per game last season. UAB allowed an average of 23.2 points and 328.8 yards per game last season. Dylan Hopkins returns at quarterback after throwing for 2,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Tria Shropshire and Jermaine Brown Jr. are a returning receiving duo that combined 900 yards and 7 touchdowns, while Dwayne McBride led the Blazers with 1,300 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. Defensively, Noah Wilder returns after leading UAB with 93 tackles. Fish McWilliams had 4 sacks and Grayson Cash had 3 interceptions. The UAB Blazers are another experienced team that should like its chances to build on last year's performance. With so much returning production, there's no reason why UAB shouldn't push for double-digit victories this season for the first time since 2018. The Bulldogs are 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 non-conference games and 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games overall. The Blazers are 19-8-2 against the spread in their last 29 home games and 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. The over is 6-1 in Bulldogs' last 7 games overall. The over is 5-1 in Blazers' last 6 games overall. The UAB Blazers are the more talented team, obviously, and should roll here, but there's not a ton of motivation here. The Alabama Bulldogs will be comfortably the more excited team for this matchup, and despite a talent gap, they return a decent portion of a roster that won 7 games last season. Alabama isn't a pushover in the FCS, so the Alabama Bulldogs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Cal Poly versus Fresno State. The Fresno State Bulldogs and Cal Poly Mustangs do battle Thursday in Week 1 college football action from Bulldog Stadium. Cal Poly is coming off a rough year in 2021, going just 2-9 overall. As for Fresno State, they finished 10-3 overall last season and finished off the campaign with a win in the New Mexico Bowl. Cal Poly has had a rough couple of years on the gridiron. In the abbreviated 2020 season, the Mustangs went 0-3. And the team followed that up with a 2-9 overall record last year. Cal Poly posted a 1-7 record in Big Sky Conference play, which left them 2 spots out of the basement in the standings. The Mustangs started out the 2021 year pretty strong, with a nice win over San Diego 28-17. Cal Poly imploded after that, however, hitting an 8-game losing streak. The Mustangs scored more than 14 points just once during that stretch. Over on the Fresno State side, they had a pretty positive year in 2021 despite missing out on the conference championship. The Bulldogs went 10-3 overall and 6-2 in Mountain West Conference play, leading to a second-place finish in the West Division. The Bulldogs kicked off the year at 4-1 before a tough loss 27-24 to Hawaii on October 2nd. Fresno State went 6-1 the rest of the way. In the New Mexico Bowl, the Bulldogs posted a 31-24 win over UTEP to finish the year on a high note. The Bulldogs were number 1 in the Mountain West last year in total offense and second in scoring. They'll be relying on the passing game once again this year for another big campaign. QB Jake Heener is back under center, and he'll have big-time targets like Jalen Cropper and Josh Kelly alongside him. RB Jordan Mims is coming off a 710-yard season and should be in line for some huge numbers in 2022. As long as the defense is at least average, Fresno will make quite a bit of noise this season. So the Fresno State Bulldogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.